So now we're looking at the case of underproduction in the case of positive externalities. And Richard Friberg, this is from my textbook in microeconomics. Okay, so we're looking at a case where there's where a good of some sort, like this. So there's, as usual, there's going to be a price, there's going to be a quantity of this good. We have a demand curve. It's like this, and there's a supply curve. So demand for products, say education. Assume that this was paid for individually, just like apples or something else. And there's supply that's given by the private marginal cost, as it would be if we're looking at apples. Okay. So in this market, if there's this good is supplied by private profit maximizing firms, we will have a QP and PP, the private provision price and the private provision quantity. Okay, now assume that there's a positive externality that's associated with consumption of this good. So there are some benefits that are bring to society at large associated with consumption of this good that the consumers themselves don't, doesn't enter into the utility function, if you wish, and neither does it enter into the profit function of the suppliers directly. So examples of this would be various aspects of education. So education is typically seen as a good that has service that has a positive externality. Okay, so you educate yourself, that creates some benefit in terms of wages and work environment for yourself, but it also helps create work for other people, maybe hopefully contributes to more informed political debate, etc., etc. So of course, these are some of the reasons why education is often provided publicly in different countries or with strong support from financial support from the public. But assume that we can denote those, quantify those external effects by the value here. So this marginal external benefit. So for each unit of Q that's produced or consumed, each unit of education, there's some additional benefit that accrues to society, and assume that this is quantified by this. So looking at demand, the valuation of this good from societal point would then be the social value be equal to the private demand plus the marginal external benefit. Okay. So adding these two, give this. So the social valuation. So demand plus the marginal external benefit. Okay, so as in the previous case, as we're looking at negative externalities, we want to see the social optimum is doing what? Well, it's one that equates the marginal cost to society with the marginal benefits to society. So taking all costs and benefits into account, which in this case happens when the cost of providing equals total valuation, okay, or on the margin. So QS, let's maybe call it Q star to denote that it's optimal, and P star, okay. We can then also note that when, social optimum provides more of this in the private solution, and the price associated is higher. We can also note that there's a deadweight loss associated with the private provision when there's under provision. So in that case, if there's the positive externality is not internalized, this much is produced. Okay, what's the marginal valuation of that unit? So we're looking there at cases where the private provision of the externality is not taking account. So on the margin, the cost of providing an extra unit is this. The benefit to society is much higher. Okay, if we're expanding production, taking the positive externality into account, doing what? Well, we're adding units where the valuation is higher than the cost. How long are we doing that? Well, all the way up until this point. So the difference between the valuation and the cost between privately provided and the social optimum, you can think of that as a deadweight loss. And in this case, it's a deadweight loss that's associated with the under provision of the good, for which there's a positive externality associated with the consumption. Okay.